All right, Miles, let's talk about the Carolina Panthers once again. Obviously, the Panthers turned some heads when they moved back in the third round to draft quarterback Matt Corral out of Ole Miss. Well, now it's Corral's turn to turn some heads. He's making some splashes for the Panthers already. What do you have out of Charlotte?
Yeah, Nick. Dean Jones over at Fanside wrote about how Corral has approached this rookie minicamp with the Panthers. Obviously, we all know Corral is upset that he slid so far in the draft, but they've been saying all the standard boilerplate stuff you would imagine. Came in with a chip on his shoulder, has been very ambitious, yada yada. But there's a couple other things that I've heard about Corral that I really liked and sparked my interest. One is how Corral has been handling media events. They say he has approached the media and answered questions like a true professional and has shown to be a very high character guy, somebody that is good for the organization, for an organization that's in the situation like the Panthers are right now, a guy who can handle himself in the media and be kind of like that high character guy you want to be the face of the team. That's a plus for him. I think that's a big plus. Other things are he's been glued to Ben McAdoo's hip, trying to learn every aspect of the offense that he can. You can really tell that he is dedicated to trying to win this starting job. So I like the moxie, I like the ability, and I like his willingness to, try to learn everything he possibly can, taking as many reps as he possibly can. And of course, the other two, his physical attributes, McAdoo comments about his lightning quick release and his big-time mobility really have translated well into minicamp. So those are all some great things about Corral. What do you think about those?
So I think when I look at quarterbacks, I think the common denominator for success, especially young quarterbacks, is maturity. You have to be a grown-up. You have to be willing to handle being an NFL quarterback. When we look at bust, we look at guys like Jamarcus Russell, Josh Rosen, guys like that. They struggled handling that. And you even look at current Carolina Panthers quarterback Sam Darnold, obviously the infamous seeing ghosts incidents and things like that. Quality quarterbacks, not that that was 100% Darnold's fault, but quality starting quarterbacks don't put themselves in those kind of situations. They understand they have to be on 100% of the time. And Corral, to his credit, is fully on board with that mindset. He's taking the bull on the horns there. But I want to talk about the coach-quarterback relationship because that is critical in the NFL. And that's exactly why the Panthers brought in Ben McAdoo. McAdoo obviously made his name revitalizing Eli Manning's career towards the tail end of Manning's time in New York. They brought in McAdoo to kind of do that with the quarterback situation in Carolina. And I guarantee you, McAdoo is loving the relationship that Corral is trying to build because Corral famously had a great relationship with Lane Kiffin down with Ole Miss in Oxford, Mississippi. The fact that both Corral and McAdoo are kind of coming together and they recognize that, kind of kindred spirits there, I think that's huge for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, and one other thing I want to touch on, I kind of glazed over it briefly, is when I'm looking at rookie quarterbacks, one thing that always catches my eye or as a big positive, because it can be a negative, a huge negative if it's not, is they talk about his compact throwing motion. He's got a quick release. I think that's one thing people always talk about with quarterbacks. If you have a wonky throwing motion or you have a slow release, it can really hinder your transition. As a young guy in the league, you want to be able to get the ball out as fast as possible. Basically, as soon as you make that decision in your head, you want to be able to get the ball there. So I like the quick release, and guys who I think of, that people always talk about Tim Tebow's throwing motion. He had a slow release, he had a big windup, all kinds of stuff, and they say it didn't translate very well. Well, Corral seems to be the opposite, and that's another, even though he's a third-round pick, those are things that can help him translate faster and be a successful quarterback for the team.
Yeah, and that's a great point about his quick release. And the other side of that coin, obviously, is you have to make the right decision. If you throw the ball quickly, you still have to make the right decision, make the right read. And I love Corral's progression that he had in his junior season at Ole Miss. He threw 14 interceptions in 13 games. 14 interceptions in 10 games. Last season in 2021, he threw 5 interceptions in 10 games. That shows just a huge leap in decision-making and accuracy, which is going to be huge in the NFL offense, specifically Ben McAdoo's, which is all about quick releases and timing. It seems like just a natural fit.